Hello, you guys, and welcome to the second episode of the Fat Loss and Food Freedom podcast, where we will be talking about everything fitness, health, nutrition, and relationship to food, to yourself, and to your body. I have to admit that I don't really have a name yet for this podcast, but Fat Loss and Food Freedom is kind of my slogan, and that is what I do. So it's quite on brand, and I quite like it. So for now, we're just going to roll with it. Now, today's episode is inspired by a conversation I had earlier today with a client of mine. My client is currently going through a little bit of a tough time, and she's not really feeling herself. And on top of that, she's also experiencing a lot of stress at work. And this means that she has a little bit of trouble following through on her healthy habits and staying on top of her nutrition and her exercise routine. And I know that she's not the only one. We all have days where we don't feel our best, or maybe longer periods of time where life just isn't really going the way we want it to. So maybe you, just like my client right now, is going through a hard time. Maybe you are just not feeling yourself. Maybe you're also experiencing a lot of stress at work. You might have a lot of things going on in your family. Maybe you're simply feeling low energy and low mood. Maybe you're having a bad body image day. Whatever it is that you have going on right now, I know that on the days that you don't feel very good, taking care of yourself might feel like an uphill battle. And I know how easy it is to start skipping things when we feel like this. We start skipping our workouts. We start skipping our steps, our morning walk or afternoon walk. We might stop meal prepping because we don't have time. And instead, we might start ordering more takeout instead of cooking for ourselves. And while it's absolutely okay to take an extra rest day or to order in every now and then, I find that while these actions might offer temporary comfort, they often lead to a cycle of feeling even worse. So if today is not your day, or if you're currently going through a tough time, I want this to be your reminder that today might not be the day to throw all your healthy habits out the window. I want you to be kind to yourself and remember that it's actually days like this that we need to take care of ourselves a little bit extra. Maybe it's even more important on days like this that you stick to your healthy habits and that you stick to your workout routine and that you give yourself that extra push to cook yourself a meal despite the fact that all you want is to just take the easy way out and order takeout. Now, like I said, those days, they definitely have a place, but I really believe that especially on days like this where we don't feel our very best, we can so benefit from simply following through on our commitments and go that extra mile for ourselves, even if we don't feel like it. So if today is not your day, try to be kind to yourself and know that every small step in the right direction is a win. And there is an analogy that I talk to my clients about frequently. It's called the volume button approach. And I love this analogy because it encourages you to identify and break free from the all or nothing thinking. And it also encourages you to, instead of thinking all or nothing, you think something rather than nothing. And the way you can think about it is, think about your healthy habits as having a volume button that you can turn up or down the volume on depending on your willingness and your ability in this very moment to carry out certain tasks or certain habits. And maybe volume 100 for you is going to the gym 4 times a week for an hour each time. But if you were to turn the volume down a little bit on that habit, maybe that would mean that you go to the gym 3 times in a week for maybe half an hour or 45 minutes. And if you want to turn it down even further, it might mean going to the gym 2 times per week, or maybe it means just prioritizing 10 to 15 minutes every day of some gentle stretching or a walk every day. And the point here is just to keep moving forward. The speed doesn't matter. Like I said, any step in the right direction, no matter how small, is a victory. You don't have to follow your regular routine to a T. And another way that I like to put it is that while we can turn the volume on our habits up and down, we never want to turn it off completely. We always want to hear the music a little bit. So I want to encourage you to try to simplify your routine a little bit. Identify what it means to you to turn the volume up or down and what the different levels of volume might look like for different habits at different times in your life. And just remember that it's not about being perfect. It's just taking small steps in the right direction, because even these smaller steps make a really big difference. So practice moving away from that all or nothing thinking. And yeah, like I said, remember that small steps, they really can make a big difference, especially on days like this where you might not feel so good. And why is it so difficult to take action and to keep moving forward on days like this? Well, I believe that doing the quote unquote right thing, pushing through and going for that workout or cooking that meal when we don't feel like it, it requires effort. And if we are low energy and we're not feeling so great, then that's probably effort that we're not really keen to make. But in my experience, for myself and with my clients, we never really regret taking action. We never really regret pushing through and going for that workout or cooking that meal once it's done. But it definitely requires you to push through a bit of discomfort. And with that, here is another reminder that, and something that I say very often, it's that you can do things even if you don't feel like it. So what I very often say is that if you have a good enough reason to do something, you can still do it, even if you don't feel like it, or regardless of how you feel. So try to keep that in mind. And what also helps me a lot is to simply eliminate the negotiation process with myself. So I don't really even give myself the opportunity to doubt, or like I said, to negotiate with myself whether or not I should do the thing. So even if I don't feel like going to the gym, I have already made a decision up front that I am going. No matter how I feel, I am going. So when it is time to go, I don't start having that internal conversation with myself whether or not I should go. So I know that that's easier said than done, but try to make the decision already up front, and then don't give yourself the space to even negotiate with yourself whether or not you should do the thing. And I know that sometimes we take action and we do all the right things, but it doesn't make us feel any better right away. And that is okay. It might take a little while. Sometimes we might do the right thing, and like I said, we might not feel better, not right away, not tomorrow, maybe not the day after that, but I just want you to remember that at the very least, you won't feel worse. And try to have faith in the process that if you just keep moving forward, you will feel better eventually. And so to summarize, I want you to remember that the days that you don't feel your best are actually the days when we need to follow through on our healthy habits the most. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Treat yourself with kindness and give yourself a gentle but firm push to take action, any action, regardless of how you feel. And know that you can do things even if you don't feel like it. Don't allow yourself to negotiate with yourself. I will say what my own coach always says to me. He says, don't think, just execute. And that is a saying that has stuck to me ever since he started coaching me years ago. And it is a really great advice that has gotten me to take action many times when I haven't felt like it. And lastly, I just want to leave you with these two questions. How can you start incorporating small, manageable self-care practices back into your day? What is one small, manageable action that you can take right now that will help you feel just a little bit better or support your well-being today? So yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. I hope that you found it insightful. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, or maybe share it with someone who might benefit from a little extra encouragement today. And if you like this type of content and want to stay connected, don't hesitate to give me a follow on Instagram at johannaandre.coaching, where I share daily content around food, fitness, and mindset. So I hope to see you there or in the next episode. Bye for now.